What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the Gemini Jets September 2025 releases. A little bit off schedule, but not too bad here in terms of the normal cycle that Gemini has followed over the years. We'll go ahead and jump straight into this as we take a look at the 1 to 200 releases, and we start off with a Western Global MD-11 Interactive Series. Nice to see the MD-11 Interactive Series coming back. How about this? U.S. Navy Convair in here from Guantanamo Bay. Very, very nice. And I think this is a C-131. Yep, C-131F Samaritan, so the same release as that Conquest Air from exactly a year ago, actually. A little over that now because it was the Tuesday after Labor Day when the September 2024 batch came out. Moving up, there's the 1 to 200 CRJ 550 for United Express, second release, 506 Gulf Juliet. And then moving up as well, United Star Alliance 777 with the Evo Blue engines, November 77022. Trying to keep moving here since I do have a upcoming class here right after this. 2E 737 MAX 8, same reg as the 400 scale release. And then right above that is the Pan Am 757, the Icelandair leased one. Looking really nice. Now, NGA is doing a special exchange event or something. I don't know what they're doing, but it's going to get a full release anyway in probably about a month or two. So if you don't want to get it now, you can certainly wait. We have a Hawaiian 717 up here, November 492 Hotel Alpha. Yeah, they did one earlier this year, if I remember right, or it was sometime around last year in 400 scale. Then we have the Dubai Expo Be Part of the Magic Emirates A380, different registration with a different billboard there, which says "See you there." I think, yeah, I checked, there was one that's still flying, actually, which is a bit surprising. Delta Connection Saab 340, wow! That is long overdue. My goodness. I hope, please tell me they'll do that in 400 scale, because I actually need one for Retro FSD, because some Northwest Airlink Masaba Saab 340s, they actually flew with bowling shoe colors up until around 2010. There's a video from Jonah Air 747 that shows one taking off from MSP at around that time with that livery, and it's the same tail number that Gemini did, which makes sense. And then the last release, Aerolíneas Argentinas 737 MAX 8. So a pretty solid 1 to 200 batch. The Delta Connection Saab 340 definitely getting my seal of approval. We've got one military release, and there it is. That's the U.S. Air Force B-52H with the orange stickers. If I remember right, someone told me that this was a test livery that they had. So that's been on the future release list for about a year now, and it took them this long to finally get to it. Okay, 1 to 400 releases time, and a re-release of this bad boy. The United Express Embraer 175. Several collectors that I know predicted that they were going to do a release of this as well. So good to see that. 606 Uniform X-Ray, so the sister ship to the first release, which I have. United 777 200. November 798 Uniform Alpha. Hold on a minute. Is this a non-ER? It says it's an ER. I think 798. I think that's a non-ER tail. Hold on. I'm going to do a quick Google search on this just to confirm. Let me see. Okay, yeah, this is an actual ER, so just wanted to confirm there. But that is very nice. United 222 Evo Blue. I did fly one of these, albeit a non-ER variant, so it had the Pratt & Whitney engines. This one, also equipped with the Pratt & Whitney engine. So yeah, I will have to pick this one up. It's not the same tail number, which is, it is what it is, but I'll certainly consider this for pre-order. There was a flaps down, so here's a regular wing config, which is what I will get if I do commit to getting this. A Qantas 737-800 in the new livery. Very nice for our Aussie friends. Let's see what's up next. Moving up, there is the Pan Am again, with the Icelandair leased example there. Cruising on up. Etihad. The 777X. Been a little while since they've used this type, so good to see that return. I know Etihad has quite a few of these on order, and that program, it's encountered its fair share of delays, but we'll see if that gets moving here. Another Delta 753 release, 595. I can't tell you if they've done this tail number before, but it wouldn't surprise me if so, because it feels like they've done a bunch of these over the years. Ooh, China Northern MD-90, wow. Another Mad Dog from Asia. Okay, so 2 straight months that we go with having a Mad Dog from this part of the world. And then the final release, another American Eagle CRJ 200. They just got rid of these. So a bit of a bad timing there to get this one out, but I know that some people probably want another one of these. So good to see Gemini catering to American collectors for some of the regional jets here. But there we go. There is our September releases for this month. Pretty solid lineup for what we've got across both scales in 1 to 400. China Northern MD90, definitely out of left field for Gemini, but they're definitely seeing the interest in the Mad Dog, especially from other parts of the world. So good to see them catering over there. And like with the JAL one, I hope to pick this one up as well at some point down the line. And then, the United 222 is super nice. It does have the Pratt & Whitney engines, just like the one that I flew, although that one obviously was not an ER variant, so not going to really matter that much, I don't think. So I could definitely get away with getting this one. And then if somebody does 772 Uniform Alpha, then I will pick that one up as well. And then I don't know what I'll do with that extra one. Maybe I'll do like a Denver airport or something. Who knows? And then obviously the Embraer 175. Super nice to see that for the collectors who've been begging for Gemini to make another one of these. And then same goes for the American CRJ 200, which, as I mentioned, Air Wisconsin, they're not doing scheduled flights anymore. So I think those specifically aren't really doing anything up to this point. So they did November 420 Alpha Whiskey as this second release, and I think this one, yeah, it's just sitting in storage. It's not really doing anything. So I don't know what they're going to do with that airframe. And as for some of the others that I highlighted there, the Etihad 777X, super nice. The 777-9 specifically. Delta 753 probably needed another release anyway, but I don't think it's been super long since the last one, so debate about whether or not that's an okay re-release. And then the Qantas 737, good for our Aussie friends who definitely get neglected often, not just from Gemini, but from everybody else. And then looking down at 1 to 200, I love the Delta Connection Saab 340. Hopefully, Gemini Jets, if you're watching this video, please do 1 to 400 scale next month or sometime later down the line. It's a very popular aircraft on the secondhand market, and I regularly see those things go for a lot of money. And then that U.S. Navy C-131F definitely speaks to me as well. I love the old Convairs getting some love in 200 scale. Hopefully they'll come back to 400 scale because it's been a while since they've done one. I think the last one that they did in 400 scale, I want to say it was that Frontier one from June of 22. Yeah, I think that was the last one that they did. So, over 3 years, approaching 4, long overdue for a Convair 580 release again. Hopefully North Central with that gold trim, that'd be super nice. But there's obviously a lot of other airlines that they could do. Frontier with the Saul Bass liveries one. And then for some of the other releases, I like the Aerolíneas Argentinas Max. And then that Hawaiian 717, pretty good there, is another sort of re-release, if you will. And then that CRJ 550, Star Alliance 777, Western Global MD-11, also great. Definitely a good batch of releases and some good global representation. You look up in 400 scale, you have Asia, you've got the Middle East, you've got Australia represented, and of course the US, which I think is an excellent geographic range. You could definitely work with another region or two by swapping out one of the US releases, but I think it's pretty fair to say, I would say maybe like a 6 or 7 out of 10 in terms of geographic diversity. And then down at 1 to 200, you do have South America, Middle East, Europe. So you've got those in there, so just swap out a couple of the regions, but about the same amount of regions really on the larger scale. But otherwise, very solid batch from Gemini. Probably won't pre-order anything right away. I still need to get the releases from last month. I will probably have to do that at some point, and I don't know what the heck I'm going to do with, like the China Northern MD-90. I might just hold on that one. That one's not a super high priority. Kind of like the JAL. I kind of want the JAL more, but I will definitely pick that up at some point. But in the meantime, that is all I've got for this Gemini September release video. My schedule's pretty busy as of late, so videos are going to be a little bit spotty from this point on, but hopefully once we get a little further into the semester, once I figure out everything, we'll be able to get into a nice groove back into daily videos, hopefully, but we will assess that as we move forward. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.